nap, getting it in, getting one more in the early morning grind. So, it was a hard day at work yesterday, doing all these boxing events, covering all these fights. But, I got the job done. By the way, shout out to my homeboy Kobe for being a correspondent for covering the fight in Brooklyn, covering the Wilder fight. Got some real good interviews. So shout out to him. I always give credit where the credit is due because, he went out there on my behalf and, did the groundwork, got the interviews. So, and I present these interviews to you because, like I say, I'm always, working. I take this boxing stuff seriously, being a member of the boxing media, and at the end of the day, I still was able to get interviews. They didn't credential me for this fight, but when you have a lot of resources and a lot of friends, you can make stuff happen. So, that's pretty much what I did. So, you know, um, yeah. But anyway, like I said, as far as the overall cards and events go, it was a great day. Every fight was entertaining. Every fight. And even some of the fights that we were checking for, but we wasn't like, you know, just super excited, but you had interest in checking them out. I got to talk about Caleb Plant and Anthony Durrell, but I'll get to that later on. But first line of business, getting to the Alicia Baumgartner, Micaiah Mayer fight. I know there seems to be a little bit of controversy. Some people are trying to say that Michaela Mayer was robbed and all that kind of stuff. Um, I don't see it that way. It could have went either way. If they had went with Micaiah Mayer, I would have been okay with it. If they had went with a draw, I would have been okay with it because it was just a hard fought, a hard fought fight. And that's just basically what it came down to because it, you know, Alicia Baumgartner was just, as Ludacris would say, she was throwing them bows. Cadillac grill, Cadillac meal, check out the oil my Cadillac. You know, I could say this much. When it came to the boxing, Mayer did better, but when it came to the brawling, it was it was Alicia Baumgartner. So when you have a boxer versus fighter, depending on who imposed their style and they will the best, well, that's what it come down to. It all depends on what you were looking for. So I don't see no controversy in this fight. You know, the only people that have a problem with it, of course, well, you know who they are and you know what they look like. But for certain people to try to make it look like this was just some atrocious travesty robbery, like it was Lennox Lewis, Evander Holyfield won, please stop it, because you're making fools of yourself. Okay, you really are. So just stop it. Real talk. But Alicia Baumgartner said, "Hey, I'm not, I'm not giving her no rematch. She ain't getting no rematch. I'm going for undisputed. That's what I want to do." But yeah, I watched the fight again, and I didn't see no controversy behind it. Who did I think win? Um, um, I don't know. If I was scoring the fight, I might have would have went with Baumgartner, but it just all depends. Like I said, it could have went either way. So stop trying to make it look like it was some kind of robbery or something. Just stop it. You know, real talk. But let me get to, man, I cannot tell you enough. Watching this fight for the third time, I was really impressed with Devin Haney's performance against, George Kambosos Jr. the second time around. And no, I'm not talking about that song by Shalimar. Good song though, but no, I'm not talking about the classic song by Shalimar. Um, I think Devin Haney wanted to prove some stuff to people. I think a lot of the questions was answered about Devin Haney. He took some hard shots. Devin Haney got hit flush a couple of times, and a lot of people thought that Devin Haney would of course they thought Devin Haney would run because that's the label they love to put on fighters that look like Devin. He would run, but Devin was right there. Devin was right there. Devin was willing to mix it up. So what excuse you gonna come with now? I know he was boring. He stunk up the joint, all that kind of stuff. Typical rhetoric that come out of trolls' mouths and stuff. But Devin, for the most part, he did everything right. He just wanted to take. He just wanted to take it to Kambosos. He was willing to slug it out with him. Because keep in mind, y'all say the man is boring and all this kind of stuff. He didn't do nothing. Now, like I said before, I like the fight that Devin Haney fought. His chin was tested, his will was tested, his skill set was tested, and he passed with flying colors. Every step of the way, Devin Haney belongs legitimately on the pound per pound list. He earned his way by going into a dude's home turf and beating them twice in dominant fashion. Not once, but twice in dominant fashion. Kambosos at best won maybe 2 rounds. But for the most part, it was all Devin Haney, and I was proud of Devin Haney. Probably now, Devin Haney now probably on a they probably on a plane. And by the way, they're gonna have a very long plane ride. So that ride on the plane is gonna be very extensive and long. I'll tap in with them probably like Monday or something, because keep in mind, not only they got to fly back into another time zone, they got to fly back and they got to fly back not a day ahead, but fly back a day behind. So so I'll tap in with them like either Monday or Tuesday. Call them in, congratulate them, let them get their rest because they all gonna want to rest because that's an extensive plane ride, from Australia to Las Vegas. And yeah, I do think Bill Haney deserves some Trainer of the Year consideration. I think that's legitimate. I think that's very legitimate because Devin has had 2 fights this year. And it was for undisputed, and he defended his title. So yeah, I do think Bill should get some Trainer of the Year consideration. I mean, I think Devin is one of the only superstars who's fought twice this year. I'm trying to think. Who didn't fought twice this year? Shit. Seemed like nobody fought twice this year, So, can't think of it right now except for Canelo, and Canelo is 1-1 fighting, So, But I will say this much. I'm gonna be curious to see what Bill want to do as far as what's next for Devin. So I'm curious to see how that's gonna unfold. But yeah. But boy, I gotta talk about Caleb Plant and that knockout Caleb Plant got against Anthony Dirrell. I'm talking about it was like I said, it was a perfectly placed punch. I mean, good grief. I mean, he came with the body shot, Then came upstairs and I mean landed the punch perfectly. I'm talking about that's textbook. And I'm gonna say this much about Caleb Plant. This is just real talk. I told you I go by the eye test. I don't go by what's being said on TV. I truly believe Caleb Plant was beating Canelo. And Caleb Plant, if he can get past Benavidez, which that's going to be a tough task within itself, we're just going to say that that fight is going to happen next, hopefully. But if Caleb Plant could get past David Benavidez, he definitely deserves a second shot at Canelo. Absolutely, he should get a second shot at Canelo. Now, will Canelo be willing to get back in the square circle with Caleb Plant? Because, like I said, I thought Canelo was losing that fight. But what you have is announcers that'll call a fight in a certain way to make, the popular fighter look better than what he may actually be looking in the fight, or make his performance better than what it really is. I thought Canelo was getting thoroughly outboxed by Caleb Plant until Caleb Plant got caught. And I can make a whole nother argument about what was up with that. But I will keep my mouth shut for the time. I will keep my mouth shut for the time being. But yeah, Caleb Plant, he definitely deserves a second shot at Canelo. And Canelo won't be back to sometime next year. And Canelo will be 33 by the time he fights again. So a lot of questions going to be asked about Canelo. You know, a lot of questions going to be asked about Canelo. Is Canelo getting old? You know, is Canelo getting old? Is he starting to get long in the tooth? I think Canelo is starting to look a little bit old. You know, starting to look his age, starting to age. But, you know, when I brought that up, his goofball fans got upset, which I don't even know why they got upset. It's not like saying that somebody's starting to look long in the tooth, that they're horrible as it. They take it as a personal insult. And that's why sometimes I don't like having these conversations with these morons. But yeah. So we shall see. But anyway, yeah, that might be a knockout of the year candidate. And as far as Carissa Shields goes, she continued to make history, you know, winning these belts, you know, undisputed in 2 different weight classes. That's big. That's real big. But let me talk about Wilder. I wonder will they be hesitation for people to get in the ring with Deontay Wilder, because he still has that one punch knockout power. And Deontay Wilder said he's still interested in a fight with Anthony Joshua. He said he think the fight should be in Africa. All right, look, I think that would be great somewhere down the line, but not now. I don't think I would love for Deontay Wilder to fight in Africa, but a fight like Anthony Joshua, you just got to keep it 100. That fight need to be in the States, you know. Oh, appreciate the donation. That fight with Anthony Joshua and Wilder, which, by the way, people still have interest in that fight. People still want to see it. Like I said, do it for the culture. But, you know, Wilder, no disrespect to Wilder, not trying to control his career or anything, but I just disagree about a fight with Anthony Joshua needing to be in Africa. That fight need to be in the States. That fight need to be in either Las Vegas or Madison Square Garden, or hell, I think Deontay Wilder could sell out Atlanta. If I see if I see Deontay Wilder, talk to Deontay Wilder, I'm going to make a suggestion. Why not fight Anthony Joshua in Atlanta? State Farm. I listen. Real talk. Wilder's popularity is there. I don't know how many tickets he sold, which I'll find out how much the attendance was later on, but he did very well. But I do think him and Anthony Joshua, I think Wilder and Anthony Joshua could sell out. I think they could sell out Allegiant Stadium. I think they could sell out. I think they could also sell out. They'll definitely sell out Yankee Stadium. I think they could sell out the State Farm Arena or Mercedes-Benz Stadium. They just got to get Anthony Joshua to be on board and sign the damn contract and make the fight. You know, that's what they got to do. They got to get Anthony Joshua on board. It's not about Wilder. Wilder has made it very clear that he wants the Anthony Joshua fight. The fight could be made. It just come down to Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearn. But if they could get the fight to happen, I would rather that fight be in Atlanta. People know who Anthony Joshua is, and like I said, they could have that fight at the State Farm Arena. That'll just be dope. And I really think Wilder should consider fighting in Atlanta. Now, next for Deontay Wilder, since he had the WBC hat on, it's a eliminator bout with Andy Ruiz. More than likely, Deontay Wilder will take on Andy Ruiz. So I think Andy Ruiz is going to get slept, but, nevertheless, I think that will be Wilder's next fight, and I damn near all but guarantee it. So, I think that'll be the next fight. And more than likely, that'll be in Las Vegas. Looking forward to it. But anyway, just wanted to do a quick rundown. Thank you for tapping in. I'm out.